Hello YouTube, Brian here. It's been a long time since I made a video, but I was just looking at this tank and I thought, hey, this is actually pretty cool, so why not make a video? This is currently really the only tank I maintain. It's right above my kitchen sink. You're gonna have to forgive the state of my house and whatever. I didn't really clean up or anything before making this. I just wanted to show you guys what I have going on these days. So this tank is a 37.5 gallon tank. It gets a lot of natural sunlight from the back through the window in the afternoons, not in the mornings because it faces the west. I have a hang-on back filter, which I recently had to replace the one I had before. I just got this off eBay, used, no idea what the brand is. It's actually not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. I'm not gonna recommend it, but it's just, pretty standard. Inside the hang-on back filter, it's empty except for a UV light, which I have running 24/7. Then I have these two sponge filters. So the main purpose of this is to circulate water and create current, so there's no dead spots, or very few dead spots. Then we have biofiltration and these guys also in here. These baskets are sitting on a piece of PVC that I cut to fit across the back of the tank. They are full of pothos vines, which I've trellised up the wall with a pretty ugly trellis net that I need to redo at some point, but the main purpose of them is filtration. So this tank is a zero water change tank. I don't remember the last time I did a water change on this tank. It's been months and months. I don't gravel vac, there's no substrate. These are dead snail shells and waste. How this works is I leave the shells in because they deteriorate and add calcium to the water, which the Livebearers like. And then the ram's horns will break up the waste. It gets picked up by the current, rotated up, and most of it gets lodged in these roots where it's eaten by the plants and slowly broken down by baby snails. I've got pond snails in here and ram's horn snails. I had zebra neorites, but they got outcompeted and died. I also tried an apple snail in here, but it got mega outcompeted and died. The ram's horns seem to basically outcompete everything. They'll go through cycles where their population gets super high and they're everywhere, and there's really big ones and tons of little ones and whatever. And then eventually they eat all the algae and extra food and everything, and the population reduces for a while and then it builds back up and whatever. So I just let them go. Yeah, sorry, I didn't script this, so I'm kind of all over the place. Zero water change tank, 2 sponge filters, and this for biofiltration. Pothos is the heavy feeder. Obviously, these are big plants. The UV light also helps a lot. Without the UV light, this does not work. If my power goes out and I forget to turn the UV light back on, within a day or two, I'll start seeing fin rot, ick, whatever, because the bioload in this tank is super high and those pathogens are present, but in low enough quantities that they do not affect the fish and the fish aren't stressed out, so they're healthy. I very rarely lose any fish. The other day it went off and I didn't notice for a couple days, and this female cardinal started getting stressed out. I saw her fin rot and I checked and I noticed that the UV light was off. So what makes the no water change possible is a combination of all those elements. It's a well-established tank. This tank's been running for a couple years now or something like that. I don't know exactly, I'd have to look. A long time. The sponge filters are fully populated. I could even upgrade this to a bigger one, obviously, and have better results, but clearly it's not necessary. I don't even know how many fish are in here, probably close to 200 or something if you count all the Livebearers that are hiding inside the baskets. So there's a lot of biofiltration between the root masses that gives a dark spot for bacteria to live, and the sponge filters. There's a lot of oxygenation between the constantly moving water, the two sponge filters that hang on back. The UV light keeps pathogens and algae out of the water column, or at least to a minimum. And that's how the tank works. Without all of those aspects in place, this would be a disaster and all the fish would die with this many fish in here. What I do on this tank is it drinks a lot of water, quote unquote, between evaporation and the plants. I usually have to add 2 liters of RO water to this tank every couple days. My RO water is about 50 ppm because it's off of some pretty nasty well water. So, yep, that's how this tank works. As far as fish goes, we've got a school of wild-caught cardinal tetras. We have Endler's Livebearer hybrids that I've been breeding to get a line going. They're a hybrid of electric blues and these black bar, like that male there. I'm breeding toward the black bar. Pretty good progress. I've got it to where I've got a lot of nice lyre-tailed big males with the black barring, and a lot of them have a yellow flush as well, or an orange flush in between the lyres, the points of the lyre on their tail. So there's cardinal tetras, there's livebearers, there are orange Von Rio tetras and normal Von Rio tetras, amber tetras, glow line tetras, pretty big school, like 12 or something. I'm going to remove the glow line tetras soon because the livebearers are the most recent addition to this tank, and now that the livebearer population is so high, there's no reason to have the glow line tetras and the livebearers, in my opinion, because they fill the same color niche. The female livebearers are about the same size as the glow line tetras, and they're very similar in color. And I feel like there's just too much of that silvery yellow color going on in here. Plus it will help reduce the bio load to a more reasonable level. So I'm gonna take them into the shop and trade them for some food, and they'll get sold on to someone else. They're growing out nice and big. I mean, the females and the males both look great. I've had them for a long time. Same thing with I think I'm also gonna get rid of the 3 or 4 of the classic Von Rios that I like, that I have, because they do not color up well and they're just ugly compared to the orange Von Rios. And again, this tank has so many fish in it that I feel like it could use the bio load reduction. Not that I have fish dying or sick or anything, other than the one which happened because the UV light went out during a power outage, but it just would be better for the fish. They're getting crowded. Eventually I'm going to start selling the livebearers once I have the line completely solidified. There is a gold Tetra singleton in here somewhere. There he is. I only have one because there was only one when I bought him, when I established this tank as a community tank, and I was planning on getting more of them eventually, but I just never did. And he seems to be totally chill, just hanging out with he mainly swims with the embers, but sometimes he goes with the other fish too. But he's cool, he's chill. I think I covered all the fish at this point. I might have missed one. Cardinals, Von Rios, embers, Endlers, livebearers, glow lines, 1 gold Tetra. I did have silver tips in here at one point, but they were too aggressive, so I had to move them into another tank. I also had Buenos Aires tetras in here at one point, but obviously anyone who's kept them, that was a noob move. They're way too aggressive, and I had to move them out. So actually they and the silver tips are together in another tank, which isn't set up as a display. It's just a basically holding tank. And I'm gonna also get rid of them next time I go into town in the fish store. I live out in the middle of nowhere now, so don't get into the fish shops very often. But yeah, this is the tank. The only light is this little LED bar light, which I leave off most of the time because of the sunlight in the tank. But at night when it's dark outside, it does look really cool to have that on. It's just a blue and white one, and it really brings out the light, or the sheen of the cardinals. It's on right now. You can see them glowing a little bit. 5 of these cardinals, the big ones, I've had for like a year or something like that. And then my local shop couldn't get them in for the longest time with the pandemic. And last time I went there to get food, they had some. I got 5 more. One of them died like the first day for whatever reason, but the other 4 are still in there chilling. Those are the smaller ones. I want to probably, once I reduce the bio load by getting rid of the glow line Tetras, the Von Rios, and what I was talking about before, I'll probably put a couple more cardinals in there because they're really the centerpiece of the tank. When people who aren't fish people come in, that's the only fish they even notice, and they make a nice contrast with the Livebearers. As far as regions go, this was originally a South American community tank. Every species in here is from the Americas. I'm pretty sure technically the only thing that's Central American is the Livebearers, and everything else is South American. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think I am. I thought about adding some Southeast Asian community fish, like some green rasboras or something, because it would look really cool, but I haven't sought them out yet, and maybe if they ever show up at my local store, thought about it. But as you can see, currently the tank is so full, I'm not adding any more fish until we get rid of some. But we've got Livebearers in all stages of growth too. I'm making this a long video because who knows when I'll have time to make another video, and I want to give you guys a good look at everything that's going on. Plus the lighting's really good right now, and I'm not getting any glares because it's the morning. So you can see some of the males in the front there, young males. And then there's a young female, I think. There's one male in here I need to cull soon, if I can catch him. He's like a pink color, and he doesn't have the black bar or the wire tail. A lot of the babies hang out up here. There's some nice big healthy ram's horns, and you can see those baskets are just full of baby Livebearers, roots, snails. It's a very healthy ecosystem overall. It does require, obviously, like I said before, the UV light and everything, but it's totally possible to set up a high bioload Asian style fish wall-to-wall, tank where the fish are healthy and happy, and you don't have to do water changes. You just have to keep everything in mind, do it slowly and patiently, and you have to pay attention and understand everything about fish keeping before you attempt something like that. Not everything, obviously I don't know everything, but I mean all the basic stuff, nitrogen cycles, how to deal with various common illnesses, what causes those illnesses to happen, etc. I also don't feed this tank that much, and you can't put big fish in it. I can't put any bigger than what's already in here. If you start putting 2-inch long fish in here, even a couple, it's just gonna, no. A, they don't live in communities like this, so tightly grouped like these fish would in the wild. And B, they're just, no. If I put anything in here, I might put like Corridoras or something, a small school, just because I don't have anything that's really bottom feeders. The Livebearers will go down there and get stuff, and I have the snails, I guess, but I don't know. I'm not really planning on doing that. I just, at this point, I'm babbling. So I'm going to bring the video to an end. If you guys have any questions about the tank, feel free to post them in the comments below, but hopefully this gives you guys some ideas about what you could do with your own tanks and how you can set up a tank where you don't have to do water changes and you can have a lot of fish living happily and healthily. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that like button and subscribe for eventually, whenever I get around to it, more content. See you guys next time.